Okay. Call this meeting of August 5th, 2023. Oh, that's the wrong one. No, it isn't. I'm sorry.
I put out there. There you go.
Okay, we call the meeting to order. We need a roll call.
Hold on a minute. Curl's coming back in and out of.
There he is. He's connecting. Can you hear us, Mr. Kroll?
Yeah, Olivia, can you hear us? Bobby?
Yes.
And Danny's the only one.
He doesn't even have microphone. So will you do the roll call, please?
Mrs. Paez,
She's on there. She's trying to get her sound. No sound. Oh, they can't, yeah.
Mr. Orozco,
Yes.
Mr. Kroll.
I'm having trouble. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you present?
Yes, ma'am.
And Olivia she's trying to, her head's shaking that she's here.
Oh, I'm
Oh, we do have the quorum. Great. We call the roll. We need to have the Pledge of Allegiance. If those stand as able or can hear that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures. Thank you. All right. Can we have a motion for approval of agenda? One of you nice board members out there?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a approval of our agenda. Now we're on number 5, our action item, I guess, consideration and approval of memorandum of understanding between Deming Public Schools and Centria. Is that?
Centria, absolutely. Yes.
And we have our newly appointed central office
Director
Director.
Exceptional Students.
Madam President, Superintendent Chavez, members of the board, I want to thank you for taking this opportunity to help out with this memorandum of understanding. In talking with the last director of exceptional students, Beth Boggs, she said that she had been trying to get a hold of Centria to put together a memorandum probably since last April, May, and then part of June. And nobody was responding. Finally, we had this new person, Bo Ritchie, who took over the director from Centria, and he did reach out to me. And so I did tell him that we were going to have to put together an MOU. I did visit with Mr. Parker, and apparently there was, I guess, a situation that happened in one of the schools that we needed to address some things. And so under the term, I did go ahead and put in there that all Centria staff that will be assigned to be on Deming Public Schools campuses need to have a background check. Background clearance check conducted to be paid by Centria staff. The clearance will be needed to be completed prior to any school campus visit. And then under the confidentiality, down at the end, I added this information. Any information shared with the family or provider will be with the client at the center and only as it relates to the client's success and not related to other students or staff. Any areas where the provider notices a need for improvement or change will be addressed appropriately with the school site administrator and special ed director as necessary. And so I think those two things were agreed upon with Mr. Bo Ritchie. And so I want to go ahead and,
Would you scroll up to the scope, please? Scroll down to where the scope of work is. So, Mr. Sines, I just want to make sure that we're all clear that they are going to be providing, support to students with autism in terms of, classroom support and interventions and things that we can do to help support the student be successful in the educational setting. Thank you. Don't go so quick. I'm sorry, I need to read it. And others might.
Any
wanna
other
read it.
questions or comments? Okay, well, then seeing none. I would entertain a motion for our consideration or for our approval of the memorandum of understanding between Deming Public Schools and Centria. Can
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Danny. You have a second?
I'll second.
And Bobby seconds. Thank you, Mr. Roscoe.
And a roll call.
Huh?
Roll call.
We had to have a roll call because it's online. I apologize. I forgot that. So we need to call the roll.
Okay.
Mr. Crowe, able to?
Yeah, I'm able to. Mrs. Paez,
He's shaking yes.
okay. Mr. Orozco,
Yes.
Mrs. Cameron,
Yes.
and Mr. Kroll, yes.
Okay, thank you. The motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Sines.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chains.
Thank you.
Starting you off and getting this going. So, all right, we have under announcements, the board member request for agenda items. If any board member has a request this time, let us know. I'm seeing shaking nose and I'm not hearing any objection or any items to be added. The next regular board meeting will be August the 17th, 2023, and the meeting will be at the Emmett Shockley Administration Building here where we are today at 400 Cody Road. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
All right, we have a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Roscoe and second by Mr. Kroll. Would you call the roll, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Paez, Mrs. Cameron,
Yes.
Mr. Orozco,
Yes.
Mr. Kroll, yes.
Thank you. The motion passes. All right, our next is announcements.
No, we're done.